Good evening. More countries are being drawn into the Middle East war as Iran declares it will not negotiate, despite Donald Trump vowing to destroy the regime. Explosions have been rocked a British base on Cyprus, and there are evacuations in Lebanon, with Israel bombing Beirut after Hezbollah joined the bloodshed. Iran is not letting up, firing more missiles and drones, hitting airports and an oil tanker, triggering more travel chaos. Thousands of Australians remain stranded in the region with their holiday plans in disarray. Chief reporter Chris Reason is live in Tel Aviv and begins our comprehensive coverage.
Determined to avenge the death of its leader, Iran fires back. In Beit Shemesh, Israel, a school, synagogue, homes and a bomb shelter flattened. It's where dozens sought shelter but became a target.
We had children inside this building, young children.
9 killed, 27 injured, and Iran's fierce retaliation kept coming. Waves of missiles targeting Jerusalem. Israel is Iran's main target, but it's firing beyond in a fierce counterattack, striking a US airbase in Kuwait, killing 3 American soldiers, another in northern Iraq. In the UAE,
we've just been hit by a drone. It stinks of oil in here. I didn't even finish my cup of tea.
3 more civilian deaths. Oman also targeted. Its commercial port and an oil tanker off its coast hit. Last week, the Omanis had been brokering a peace deal for Iran.
Defending ourselves, and we have every right, every legitimate right to defend ourselves. What the United States is doing is an act of aggression.
On state TV, showing off their arsenal of drones and rocket launchers, an underground tunnel adorned by flags and images of the late supreme leader. This Iranian missile fired into Tel Aviv, tore through an apartment block, blowing it to pieces with families inside.
Hello?
1 woman was killed here, but dozens survived.
But we're kind of happy for this shit in Iran that happened.
You're happy, even though this is the result.
This is the result. This is the price that we need to pay. But of the future seemed to be much more scary, you know, if it wouldn't happen.
The key question now, as the death toll and the devastation mount, is how much longer can this conflict continue? Whether it's days, weeks or longer, it might not be an issue of political support, but munitions supplies.
Both sides only have a finite number of missiles, likely only enough for 4 weeks of war. It follows this, one of America and Israel's first strikes of the conflict, bombing Iran's military headquarters, a move that has ignited deep divisions within that country. Many are celebrating Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's death, hoping it triggers a regime collapse, but others mourn the loss of their supreme leader. Thousands defiantly protest the attacks, chanting, "Death to America." In Iraq, Iranian sympathizers stormed Baghdad's Green Zone to be met by police. In Pakistan, rioters attacked the US consulate, breaching the outer wall. Security guards opening fire, 22 people were killed. Iran's remaining leaders meeting overnight to elect not 1 leader but 3 temporary ones. The president, chief justice and a senior cleric sharing power until an assembly of experts meets to elect a new supreme leader, similar to a papal conclave at the Vatican. The new chosen Ayatollah must be a man and must be a cleric. And in that power vacuum, Iran concedes it no longer has complete control of its military.
Our military units are now, in fact, independent and somehow isolated.
That power struggle as America and Israel continue to unload. Tehran's skyline filled with smoke. Iranian fighter jets targeted before they even get off the ground. The US says it struck 9 Iranian Navy ships and killed 48 senior Iranian officials.
The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu not afraid, standing exposed on a rooftop in Tel Aviv. This combination of forces enables us to do what I've long hoped to do for 40 years, he says, to strike the terror regime decisively. 2 days in, there's no sign of Iranian collapse in a region rendered unpredictable, volatile and divided.
The Middle East is waking to a wave of fresh strikes. Live now to Chris Reason in Tel Aviv. And Chris, there's now been a strike on Lebanon's capital.
Good evening to you, Peter. This is an extremely serious development, but this morning, pre-dawn, Hezbollah, the terrorist organisation based in southern Lebanon, decided to launch a series of attacks into Israel, the northern areas of the country. And they put out a statement straight afterwards saying it was in revenge for the toppling, the killing, the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The IDF, the Israeli Defence Force, was quick to respond, scrambling jets and pounding targets in southern Lebanon and even into the capital, Beirut. They issued an alert, a warning shortly beforehand to residents to get out of the area. Well, that sparked a stampede. You can see from those pictures there, cars, thousands of people also moving on foot. The IDF saying they successfully killed a Hezbollah leader in all of that attack this morning. But this is a major development in this conflict as yet again it spills into another country in the Middle East. Peter?
Chris Reason in Tel Aviv, thank you. Now to Rob Scott in Washington, D.C. And Rob, the world's being warned this war will not last days, but weeks.
Yeah, that's right, Peter. Donald Trump says it'll probably take at least 4 weeks to achieve all of the mission's objectives. So there's likely to be bloodshed for at least another month to come. And the US president has also confirmed that there have been now 3 US casualties, 3 US service personnel killed, another 5 wounded. And tonight we are hearing from the Iranian regime pushing back against claims from the US president that they have reached out to him wanting to talk. They say they have already tried diplomacy a couple of times and it hasn't worked.
Touchdown in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump looking every bit the commander-in-chief as he boarded Marine One for the sweep to the White House. For a waiting press pack and a waiting world, the questions are many.
What is your goal, Mr. President?
But from Trump, there was nothing. He walked and he waved. Earlier, from Florida, a recorded speech.
Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. Nobody's seen anything like it. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. Not going to let it happen.
But America is already paying a price.
Breaking tonight, U.S. troops killed in the Middle East.
At a military base in Kuwait.
3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. And sadly, there will likely be more.
And for the president, that is a problem.
Big part of the MAGA base did not want another war in the Middle East. This is a betrayal of a decent chunk of the MAGA base.
And this is a problem too. In Austin, Texas overnight,
somebody advising there's an active shooter.
2 dead, 14 injured after a gunman went wild in a downtown bar. The 53-year-old was reportedly wearing a shirt coloured in the Iranian flag. The message on his sweater, property of Allah.
There were indicators that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
Americans have learnt these lessons before as Democrats push for a vote this week to throttle the president's wartime powers.
I think the president has started a war of choice. There was no imminent threat to the United States.
But from Republicans, the president is annihilating evil.
The mothership of terrorism is sinking. The captain is dead.
For now, Donald Trump appears more focused on the bombing than on talking, suggesting that this conflict could go on for 4 weeks, and again saying it'll last as long as is necessary to secure America's safety.
To the Iranian regime, there was this.
Lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. Won't be pretty.
And to the Iranian people, this.
I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you.
In Washington, D.C., Rob Scott, 7 News.